Devoutness in all things. Here too we must be careful. A cloth adorned with crosses was spread out on a sofa. It is inappropriate to sit or to step on crosses. Some Jewish merchants mark the bottom of shoes with crosses. Many times crosses are found not only on the outside of shoes, but also on the inside of the heel and the sole. How strange it is to pay money for the shoes and to be stepping on crosses. Long ago, these people had made some baby rattles with Panagia and Christ on one side and Karagioses on the other side. People will say, Karagioses on one side, Christ on the other, what does it matter? And the poor people would see Christ and Panagia and buy them for their little children. The children dropped the rattle, it was stepped upon and soiled. And now people told me that Roman Catholic missionaries somewhere near China are wearing some necklaces which have Christ on the inside and Buddha on the outside. Either placed Christ alone on the inside or confess Christ openly, otherwise the grace of God does not come. Here in Greece, some people in authority without thinking have placed Panagia on a stamp which is usually thrown away and stepped upon. Geronda, can someone be devout in some things and not in others? No. If he is truly devout, he will be devout in all things. Once a priest was staying at the monastery of Stavronikita, and once, during the reading of the 6 Psalms, he lowered the pew seat and said, "Father, they are reading the 6 Psalms," I told him. "This way I can enjoy it all the more," he told me. Just think. Years later he came and found me. He told me that he was preparing icons and giving them away as a blessing. I asked him, "How do you glue the icons?" He explained. "I put glue on the wood, position the paper icon on the wood, and when I have a stack of them, I pile them up and sit on them so they can stick well. Then I take a book and read for a while." When I heard this, my hair stood on end. I said, "What are you doing? You're sitting on the icons so they can stick." "Why not?" he said. "Isn't it proper?" Do you see where this is going? The bad thing is that this lack of devoutness gets worse. It never stops. Man evolves either for better or for worse. See where that priest started from and where he ended up. "This way I can enjoy the 6 Psalms all the more," he said then. And afterward he reached the point of saying, "By sitting on them the icons will stick and I can do some reading." Then he thought it strange what I told him about the 6. Psalms. And there were other older fathers who were standing at the time. They leaned a little on the pew and did not move at all. It is one thing if someone is very tired or sick, and his legs are weak and he is sitting for that reason. Christ will of course not condemn him, but it is very different to imagine this to be the right way, and to even add the remark, "I enjoy the Psalms more when I am sitting." How can you justify this? Spiritual life is not a matter of enjoyment. If you are hurting, sit. Christ is not a tyrant. Abba Isaac says, "If you cannot stand, sit." He does not say, "If you can, sit." Geronda, why don't we sit during the reading of the 6 Psalms? Because they symbolize the judgment. During the reading of the 6 Psalms, our mind should be thinking of the hour of judgment. The reading takes about 6 or 7 minutes. During the first part, we do not even make the sign of the cross, because now Christ will come not to be crucified, but will come as a judge.